The Baseball Insiders with an actual baseball player today. Stay tuned. It starts right now. All right, going out to Colorado, bringing in the lefty, Kyle Freeland, joining us, who does great work on the mound for the Rockies and also with Special Olympics. And apparently has a dog in the background. Kyle, is that your animal? We have an animal going?
That is my German Shepherd who wants to be let outside right now because he's very annoying.
Oh, we got to get the dog out. Bert, this is a big day for the Baseball Insiders. We're making moves.
Oh, we're making moves here, Carl. We got the hype levels at 1 trillion. I don't know about you, but we're beaming today, even though it looks like I'm in prison.
Kyle, we brought you on to put you on the spot. And what do the players want here? How do we get this thing done? When are we going to have baseball? We already miss you guys.
I know we're supposed to be a week and a half away from reporting. So I know that's for myself, that's a big date that we look forward to, getting to, just getting back with all the guys, getting back in the clubhouse, starting to get things rolling. But time's kind of not on our side right now. So we definitely need to get the ball rolling on certain things, and hopefully over the course of the next couple of weeks we can knock some big things out and get a deal done to where everybody's happy and we can start playing baseball.
Yeah, so for you, how closely do you follow these negotiations? I don't think you're the PA rep for the Rockies, but
No, Scott Oberg is our PA rep. I mean, I'm not following it like extremely closely, but we have our group chat that Oberg keeps us up to date on day-to-day stuff on what's going on. Obviously, you have media, we have our emails that we receive, everything like that. So I'm definitely staying engaged with it, keeping myself up to date, just because I'm truly involved in it. I'm on a 40-man roster. I'm playing baseball. I'm going into my 6th year, so it's something that means something to me. And obviously, we always preach as players to leave this game better than how we found it. So that's something that we're trying to do.
Yeah, and you had mentioned that. How do I want to phrase this? It's so you mentioned we're about 10 days away now from when players would report for spring training. How do you prepare? Is it different from what you've done in years past, or is it more of the same?
Yeah, it's definitely different from years past. I think when COVID hit, that first off season after COVID, that was where a lot of guys had to get creative with their off season workouts, just because a lot of spring training facilities were closed. A lot of facilities in general either didn't make it through COVID, or they had strict policies on outsiders coming in, stuff like that. So we had to get creative with what we had to do to throw bullpens, hit, get our arms ready, get our bodies ready. So that was one hurdle that pretty much everyone had to get through. But right now it's definitely different, because I'm definitely used to being in the facility right now, throwing pens off our mounds, being on the dirt, throwing on the spikes, getting that feeling of getting back in a baseball season. And right now it's more throwing at parks, throwing off turf mounds inside, doing that sort of stuff. And being so close to our technical report date, it kind of sucks that we're not doing that right now.
So just a little background here. You grew up in Denver and you're getting to pitch for the Rockies. This is like 0.1% of everybody who's ever played sports. I get to play for my hometown team. That's pretty incredible, right? Do you ever kind of take a step back, 50,000, this is my life kind of moment?
Yeah. I mean, all the time. I think I'm starting to, as I'm getting older, I'm starting to respect it more and more than when I did when I was, my first couple of years in the league, where it was like, all right, cool. I'm here. I get to play baseball for my hometown team. This is awesome. Everyone's asked me about it. But now you really get to realize how big of an opportunity, how big of a, part of my career this really is, being the Rockies' first round pick, going through their organization, making my debut with them, having success, going to the playoffs, winning in the playoffs, and becoming a leader of this team. I've started gaining a lot more respect for the fact that I was their hometown guy that they decided to bring back.
Let me go one more here, Bert, and then get back in here. But I have Bert and I have argued this out, Kyle, and I hope you're on my side. I'm not exactly sure, about to find out. But May 21st, 2017. Do you know why I'm bringing that up?
May 21st, 2017. I know that's the day after I hit my first big league home run.
Okay, so they have it wrong on Wikipedia. They say it's your first day was May 21st, so it's the May 20th then. Do they have it right that it was off Bronson?
I think it is May 21st.
Okay, credit to Wikipedia. Good job then. Came off. Do you remember who you hit it off of?
Bronson Arroyo.
There you go. All right. I'm pro pitchers hitting. When Freeland hits a bomb or any pitcher goes deep, that's about as sweet a thing that can happen in a baseball game. We don't need the universal DH. I know you don't get to make the decisions on this, but would it suck for you as just a player and liking to play the game if they got rid of it in the National League?
I'm very much on the fence on that. I enjoy hitting. It's fun. It's hard. I have the utmost respect for position players and hitters, having to try and hit what we throw at them because it is not easy. That same note, it's also nice whenever we play an American League team on the road where I don't have to worry about, going up and laying down a bunt, running the bases. I get to get in the dugout and just get to focus on my job, on what I need to do on the mound. I get to rest my legs. I get to just, breathe for that half inning before I got to go back out. So I'm very much on the fence. It's fun hitting. I also love the fact that it separates the two leagues. National and American. I think that's a nice separator of, at this point, might as well just have one league. But that's one thing that I definitely like about it.
Now I got to ask you: is there one pitcher or multiple pitchers you actually enjoy watching hit?
One of them is one of my teammates, and that's Marquez.
Oh yeah, man, for sure.
His hand-eye coordination is absolutely incredible. If you watch his swing and his mechanics, they're not the greatest. They're not the most sound, fluid, nothing. Yeah. But the way he's able to put bat to ball and use his incredible hand-eye coordination and not only hit fastballs, but hit off speed, stay back, spit on stuff. It's truly incredible. And every time he hits and every time he gets a knock, we're in the dugout just laughing, like, how does he do this?
Do you look forward to days when you're taking BP?
Oh yeah, BP's a blast. I mean, the coaches kind of got to reel us in every once in a while because we'll get into that habit of like, all right, we're just gonna try and leave on every single pitch. They'll start making us, all right, like if you don't hit a line drive, like get out of the turtle. But no, we definitely enjoy BP. We get our work in, but at the same time, last couple of rounds, we definitely let it eat and try and take it out.
No, a little birdie, by the way, tells me that you are a very good golfer. And I was wondering, are you willing to confirm this?
Yeah, I'm pretty good. This offseason, I haven't been able to, sharpen up my game as much as I used to, just because, the amount of travel that my wife and I did with our wedding, our friends' weddings, a whole bunch of other stuff. Wasn't able to play as many rounds as I'd like to this offseason, but yeah, most off seasons I'm logging probably close to 50 rounds in the off season. So I'm able to get my game pretty sharp.
Because you're out in Arizona right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in Scottsdale.
Hey, so am I. So
awesome.
I'll throw it out there right now. Are you willing to play a round of golf?
Absolutely.
Well, let's make it happen, man. I'm terrible, but I got to get the competitive juices flowing.
Yeah, I mean that's what makes us better.
There we go.
I love the support that Kyle will golf with you, but Bert, you got to hold it down for the insiders. You go out there and you shoot 110, you're scooting it all over the place, and I just don't embarrass us. But that's awesome, and I'm jealous. You guys have fun. And by the way, Kyle, I will admit that I'm a Chicago guy. And you came in 2018 on a Cubs team that was expected to do things, and you just how do you guys put it as pitchers? You stuck it to them. What's the right terminology? This is an embarrassing moment for me. You shoved it on them. You shoved it. What do you remember about that day? And what was your mindset coming into a wild card, winner take all, loser going home game?
Oh, I mean that was a whirlwind of 48 hours. We we went from Denver to LA, played LA for game 163, lost in LA, went straight from LA to Chicago. Got in, kind of late into Chicago. I remember, for the first time ever, I took one of our team iPads into the hotel with me so I could do my scouting and, watch their hitters. And I'll admit, I was in a little bit of a panic, like, crap, I have like very little time to prepare for this game. I remember sitting up in the hotel room with my now wife, and her parents were in town to watch the game, and they wanted to come up and say hi. And I remember just like laying in bed, like looking at her, like yeah, you need to get them out of here. Like I need my space right now. So said hi to them, had them leave, and then ended up going to the ballpark. Kind of as late as possible as I could to where I could still feel comfortable. But from the time I got to the ballpark, I changed and I just sat right in front of my locker, and Ionetta, my battery mate, was in the locker next to me, and we didn't share a single word the entire time, leading up to pregame. And then, from there, it was just, jump right into my routine of getting loose, getting out on the diamond, starting to play catch, starting to do my bullpen, everything like that. But it was almost emotionally draining, being out there, with that kind of history that ballpark has, the fans that they have, letting me have it out in right field in the bleachers. They, it was something else, but it's something that I'll never forget. And it was one of the most, fun baseball games that I've ever been a part of.
See, I just love the mental side of all of it. So you here you are, you're kicking people out of your hotel, and rightfully so. By the way, they should never have come up there. Whoever those people were, they should have realized the importance of the moment. Let's go to dinner tomorrow, win or lose. I'll be, but okay, we don't need to go down that road. But then the moment's there, the ball's in your hand, and explaining the mentality of how you lock yourself in, like the only thing that matters is this moment, me doing what I practiced my entire life to do, just to breathe into that. How do you explain it?
It was something that, going into it, I remember telling myself, I'm like, you know what, like at some point you're probably going to pitch in the playoffs. And here you are, your back's already against the wall, you're on short rest. We've been in 3 different cities in 3 different days. Like it's everything was stacked against us. So it was like, you know what, at some point you had to dive into the playoffs, and, you had to get your feet wet at some point. I'm like, so this is a perfect way to do it. However it goes is how it goes. If we win, we win. If I get shelled, I get shelled. If I shove, I shove, whatever. I'm just going to go out there and do my thing and, and kind of hope for the best. And sure enough, from that first inning on, even though I got a little scared when Zobrist hit a bullet right back up the middle to start the game off. I'm like, oh boy, this might be rough. But from that point on, really, myself and Lester, we held, both offenses at bay, and we had a hell of a game.
Are you one of the guys on the days that you start, like can you not have anybody talk to you, or is it just like, how do you go about your start days?
No, I'll show up to the ballpark and I'll hang out. I'll sit in, one of the chairs or recliners, watch TV and, have conversation with guys. But when I start to lock in is, I'll go shower. And then, when I'm starting to get dressed, that's when I'll kind of shut off the world, around me, start playing my music, get in my zone, start rolling out, doing what I need to do, mentally and physically to get ready to go out on the field and start my throwing program and getting ready. So that's kind of when I shut off the world, don't touch my phone besides music. But yeah, it's those, moments where you want to stay as loose as possible. You don't want to be uptight, but at the same time, you also have to have a point in the day where you need to lock in.
What are you listening to?
So majority of my career, I'll just put on Machine Gun Kelly and I'll shuffle it. There have been times where, I've been in a rut and need to mix it up a little bit. And so I'll put on just, one of my random playlists that I enjoy, with all sorts of different, artists and genres on there. But, majority of my career would be, listening to Machine Gun Kelly.
Nice.
So no Taylor Swift then?
So in college, it was actually Katy Perry.
Oh, my man. Yes, let's go.
My junior year, I was throwing Katy Perry Pandora Station before my starts, and like I just like kind of closed my eyes and get in the zone. It worked. Obviously, it got me. I had a hell of a junior year. Had a really great season, and ended up getting drafted in the first round. So it definitely worked.
Purple Aces, baby.
Yep.
Evansville, Indiana.
Yep.
Go ahead, Bert.
No, so one thing we definitely wanted to ask you about was the Special Olympics. Like, what does that mean to you?
They hold a very special place in my heart. I've been working with them for a handful of years now. Really dating back to 2018 when I got to go up to we were actually at an off day in Seattle and got to go watch the USA games up there with them and got to meet a bunch of Team Colorado athletes, and just the joy that they really brought me, being able to see their camaraderie, the friendships that they had, how they picked each other up, whether they were teammates or they were competing against someone else. Really, it's very humbling to see that and, realize it puts the world in perspective, really, to see how they compete and how much joy they have and the camaraderie that they have and how great they are able to interact with competitors, their friends, teammates, whatever. It was just a joy to see. And that's kind of when I really, fell in love with it. And I'm like, this is something I want to sink my teeth into. I want to support and I want to, help them out any way that I can.
Was there family background or was it just actual on the ground experience?
No, it's just on the ground experience. I can date it all the way back to the year I was drafted. When I was in Grand Junction, my host family, my host mom actually is a big supporter of Challenger baseball in Grand Junction, which is, helping out, special needs kids, get into the game of baseball and softball. And so that's kind of where it started because she had us, kind of help her out a little bit, meet some of the kids, hang out with them for a bit. So that's where it really started. So I kind of had a little bit of fun there. And then 2018, it was really eye-opening. It's like, this is something that I really love.
I just love the history, by the way. The Grand Junction Rockies, the Asheville Tourists,
Yep.
the Modesto Nuts, one of the greatest names I've ever heard, Salt River Rafters,
Yep.
Albuquerque Isotopes, the Hartford Yard Goats. I mean, do you have a favorite shirt of any of those? Because, to be a yard goat, come on. I mean, that's awesome.
I would say the Yard Goats, but I was part of that team that I don't know if you know the whole story, but that year, 2016, we were the first ones to open up that team. It was a brand new team in 2016.
Okay.
And the stadium didn't get built all year long.
Oh, wow.
We were on the road all year. Thankfully, I got moved to AAA halfway through, but we were the road goats. We weren't the yard goats. Some of those guys had to suffer a year long being on the road and not having a home stadium.
Well, do you worry about the minor leagues and where this is going?
A little bit. I know that what was it last year? They decided to axe a couple teams from each organization. So obviously, that makes numbers smaller. That makes the draft smaller. That cuts jobs away from guys. So I believe me, I know the minor leagues are tough. It's not a place you want to be. It's definitely not a place you want to be for long. And that I think that should be something that guys always remember is I want to get out of here, so I'm going to do what I can to get out of these minor league situations because at the end of the day, it's the minor leagues. You're not getting paid well. You're not in great cities, and it's a tough life.
And you've had your career, you've ridden the roller coaster. I mean, your game is so hard. Like we're talking about 2018 and 2019. You get off to a slow start, and you get sent down, and now you're AAA, and now you're fighting to get back, and you got to handle it. It can't be easy, right?
Well, it was a very humbling experience. It was a learning experience for me, that I'll never forget. But it was mentally draining. You're coming off of one of the best years of your career. Obviously, it was only my second year, but a career year where I set a record for the Rockies with ERA at home. I was a Cy Young finalist. We were in the playoffs, and then all of a sudden you're just immediately on the opposite end of the spectrum. And, you get sent down to AAA, and you're trying to do whatever you can to figure it out. You're trying to make changes. You're trying to listen to everybody. You're hoping that someone just has a magical fix for you. And then, sometimes that's just not the case. Sometimes it is, but, for me, it just wasn't the case where, someone couldn't just like say something to me like, oh yeah, that's right. Like, what, how did I not think of that? So that whole year I was just, fighting myself, fighting coaches, pretty much fighting everything, trying to figure stuff out. And I kind of couldn't wait for the off season to come so I could just kind of hit that reset button, and go through the off season and make my adjustments.
Well, that's the thing too, right? Fighting coaches, like, listen, I can't listen to everybody, right? You got to figure out what is someone saying that resonates with me, that feels right. But ultimately, I would think at least you got to kind of trust your own intuition here, right?
Exactly. Yeah. You got to trust yourself, knowing that, you're going to get yourself back right. Trusting what you've done in the past, what you're continuing to do. But I mean, that, coaches and teammates, whoever's reaching out to you, trying to help you, they truly do want to help you. They don't want to see you suffer. They don't want to see you down, getting lit up every 5 days. I guess that's just not fun for anyone to watch, unless you're an opposing team. But yeah, I mean, they want you to succeed. They want you to get back to it. So you want to listen to everybody, but at the same time, you also have to understand, you have to filter out, what is going to work for you and what is not going to work for you.
Yep.
Yeah. And for you, so our final question is pitching in Colorado as difficult as everybody makes it out to be?
It's not easy. That's for sure. When I came in the league, and I'll still say it to this day, is to have success as a pitcher, regardless of where you're at, you have to execute your pitches. You have to work the zone in different areas, whether you're in Colorado, whether you're in Atlanta, San Diego, wherever, you have to execute pitches if you want to have success. With that being said, you also have to be a little more detail oriented when you're in Colorado. You have to understand that your stuff is not going to have blistering break to it. It's not going to have the movement that you are going to see in, humid sea level places. So you have to understand that there are little adjustments that you have to make, going into Coors Field and leaving Coors Field, as a pitcher. And, we kind of figured out this year with our offense that our offense needs to make that adjustment as well, just because, pitches are going to move very differently at altitude and at sea level.
Does that put more stress on your arm, having to sort of, I guess, alter what you do?
Not really, just because it's such small adjustments and it's mostly hand position and release. At least that's for me. I mean, I won't speak, for other pitchers in our organization. We're on a rotation, but yeah, for me, it's very small adjustments with release point and your hand position of everything, going from, altitude to sea level and vice versa.
Hey, Kyle, awesome to catch up with you, man. And really, we've done a lot with the Special Olympics at Fansided, and I know a lot of the people over there, and I know Jason set this up. They're just great people doing great things. So we appreciate the partnership. And and thanks for taking time here. I do want to ask you one, I guess, slightly difficult one on the way out here. If you could punch one thing that happens in this negotiation that you think would be sweet for the players, like that you would be like, oh man, at least they got that done. Is there anything that comes to mind, or, hey man, just figure it out, let's play baseball? Or is there one thing that perhaps like that would be great if they did X, Y, Z?
I'm big on, like, let's play some baseball. At the same time, I gotta protect my guys. One thing that I am, kind of falling for is the age limit on free agency. I mean, you got a career minor leaguer who's been grinding his ass off, for 8 years or whatever, 8-9 years in the minor leagues, and he finally makes his debut. He should be able to get to free agency at a certain age rather than having to go through 6-7 years of getting service time before he can truly become a free agent and make some solid money for himself, just because he's been grinding for so long. So that would be one thing that I would like to see.
That's anybody who argues with that, I would take umbrage with. I know, Bert, you would too. Hey, Kyle, I know you got to get out of here. Thanks for the time, man. Great to meet you on the Zoom here, and have a great 2022. We hope you see you guys out there soon.
Awesome. Appreciate it. And thanks for the Special Olympics support, guys.
Absolutely, man. And looking forward to golfing, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's set it up.
Absolutely, man. Sounds good.
All right.
Kyle Freeland's my new hero, Robert.
Hey, you and me both. He's great people, and we're gonna go golfing too, Carm. So
he set it up for you. Then we got off the Zoom. He was like sitting there, and he wanted to you to ask for the number, and you never did. You couldn't close. Now you got to go through Special Olympics. I don't know if I'm betting against this ever happening. It was right there for you, brother.
Yeah, that I gotta watch the tape and do a better job. That's classic coach speak. Yeah.
Well, listen, just get after it. He'll do it. You might be able to golf with Freeland. That could be huge for the insiders. I'm only thinking about myself right now, Bert. If you're in with Freeland, next thing you know, news out of the Rockies, all sorts of things could happen.
I mean, you never know. Whatever it takes, Carm. Although I will embarrass us because I have not golfed in like 2 years. And I could be hitting worm burners left and right. Okay. I'm going to set the over-under right now at 17.5 for balls that go in the water.
I mean, he looked like a dude looking for somebody to golf with. But all right, hey, before we get out of here, and thanks for everybody sticking around here on the Baseball Insiders. We appreciate it. I know that I am certainly interested. You've been talking with some agents about what's going on with the collective bargaining agreement. What's the update, Robert?
Yeah, it's not good. There is a consensus around the league that obviously spring training is going to start not on time, but that the regular season is now going to be in jeopardy as well. And we're starting to see a lot more players being vocal about their displeasure with how the state of negotiations are so far. And we're hearing agents who are speaking out about it now. And I got this text from an agent earlier today, and I quote, "Rob Manfred's dishonesty and the outsized greed of big market owners who pulled Manfred's strings. There's also a failure to grasp the severity of the moment from a branding perspective for the sport as a whole. With his extremely aggressive negotiating stance, Manfred is effectively whipping his convertible, which is Major League Baseball, around as if he's on a racetrack with airbags and a fire suit. The reality is that he's teetering on the edges of a cliff and nearing a catastrophic, perhaps fatal error. He doesn't seem to give a rat's ass about the fans because he thinks he will have them forever. But my suspicion is that he's very far from the truth and that fans will leave and not come back." End quote.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know who this is, and I'm sure since we're reading it and he's with you that this is a good dude, so I don't want to go too far, but I do think he's right. I think that Manfred is actually right. Baseball fans are baseball fans. They're not going away. I don't think they're going to lose the fans. Now, that being said, it's better to get a deal done than not get a deal done. I don't think you want to irritate / enrage your most loyal customers. That's not good. And the fact that, on another note, that we're seeing things like Rob Manfred's talking about baseball's going to start a streaming service sometime next year. Hey, it's 2022. How long has the NFL had Red Zone? I mean, what the hell have you guys been doing? They're so far behind the 8 ball on marketing their players. And maybe MLB.com has done a good job of making money on the audio side, but this is not. They just seem late on a lot of things. So, but didn't you say at the start of this, Bert, if I rewound the tape to one of our podcasts, that you're going to hear a lot of negative stuff? Don't buy into it. It's going to get ugly. It's going to be really messy, and then it'll get solved. I think you said something along those lines.
Yeah, I said something along the lines of it's going to get messy. There's going to be a lot of finger pointing between both sides. I think if I said that we shouldn't pay attention to it, maybe that might have been a bit strong. Ultimately, I think a deal is going to get done. But the longer this thing goes on, I think the more damage there's going to be to Major League Baseball as a whole going forward. And I also want to say I totally agree with your point about Major League Baseball not marketing their players well enough. Because you see all the big name stars in the NFL and in the NBA, their names are everywhere. You have Mike Trout, who's perhaps one of the best players in baseball history. You never see him anywhere. Mookie Betts, you don't see him hardly anywhere either. And whenever there's like a really big moment in baseball and somebody ends up tweeting a video of that play that is not done by Major League Baseball, they end up taking it down, which I think it hurts it not like it doesn't allow the game to be spread to the younger audience, which is on social media, which hurts the game. Like there's a lot of different ways that MLB could end up going about this to like better market their players, but they don't do it.
Right. Look, any publicity is good publicity. Don't worry about it. You're don't nickel and dime those things. That's moronic.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, I am, I guess, anxiously awaiting to see how messy this gets. It seemed to me like there was at least some level of progress moving towards an agreement, but now it just got a little ugly again.
Yeah, a deal has never been close. It's probably like a couple inches closer than it was maybe like a few weeks ago. Like,
well,
we're still dug in. Like, I'm a big believer that deadlines spur action. And I think the deadline we're looking at here is not the start of spring training. We're looking at about March 1st to the 3rd in that range, just because that, like, if we don't have a deal by then the start of the regular season is going to definitely be in jeopardy.
Right. And what I speculated in negative Carmland was that baseball did not want to pay players for April and May, and that we would start the season on June 1. Now, there will be a lot of negative news about the game if that happens. So do they really want to take on that much water just to not pay players in April and May when crowds tend to be a lot thinner? I would hope that they don't do that. I'd love to have baseball back, but and Chicago Cub newest pitcher, Marcus Stroman, what did he call Rob Manfred on Twitter? Did you see that?
Oh yeah, didn't he call him like man clown or something?
Man fraud or what? Here, I mean, that's the job of the commissioner. Nobody likes Roger Goodell, yet he makes $50 million a year or whatever it is. And the league is incredibly successful. So the fact that players are going at Rob Manfred, I suppose, doesn't matter. But he doesn't. The opinion of the players and good old Rob is incredibly low.
Yeah,
which maybe baseball owners think he's doing a good job. I mean, he's there to take the bullets, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah, like he works for the owners, and the owners. Yeah, I can confidently say the players are not happy with the job that Manfred has done at all. There is a lot of bad talk behind the scenes about that. I'll leave it at that.
Yep. All right. So negative news. Hey, Bert, one last question. It's big in Chicago right now that the Cubs are considering starting their own streaming service, which Major League Baseball does not want, because they don't want individual teams going off on their own. But the Cubs would charge supposedly $18 a month to watch Cubs baseball. So more than your Netflix, more than HBO Max or whatever your standard $15. You paying $18 a month to watch your favorite baseball team?
I mean,
you probably are.
Yeah, I would, but I can't see the average person doing it. Could you?
No. The diehards will do it, and the average person won't. Do you want that? I don't think you do. Yeah, Stroman, by the way, called him. He said, "Man clown and his boys need to figure it out and stop ruining the game of baseball." Man clown.
Ouch. Yeah, that's a pretty deep burn. I mean, that's being called man clown. That's a tough look, Carm.
Yeah, that's it's not mincing any words there. Yeah. $18 a month to watch baseball.
That's a lot of money, Carm. I figured for a full season, that's like about $100, if not more than that.
6 times 18, Bert. That would be 100. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So we actually have some breaking news in the Baseball Insiders. I'm actually a human calculator. So there we go.
Really? Are you serious?
No, gosh, no. That took more thought than I would like to admit. So give me a question here, Carm. I'm curious.
Yeah, go ahead.
Wait, no, our math.
Okay, you ready? 5 times 12 minus 4 times 2.
112.
Okay, Bert, you're there, buddy. You're there. You're my guy.
Yeah.
You want one more? You want one more to wrap it up? This
good.
You got to love the Baseball Insiders. 9 times 7 minus 6 minus 14 times 2.
106.
I think it was 86.
Nah, you were at 53. And
I said 9 times 7.
Yep, 63.
Minus 7.
56.
Minus 13.
Oh, no. Oh,
43 times 2, 86.
yeah, this is rigged.
The double minus. I got you on the double minus.
Yeah, we're not counting these votes
All right.
here.
Well, okay, we're doing this to end the podcast for the foreseeable future.
Yeah, please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Shout out to Michael Zach for that.
I don't get the chat.
Yeah, that's something they teach you in math class. PEMDAS, or
what is PEMDAS?
Parentheses. I don't even know what it is. I just remember my old math teacher, Mrs. Hassler. She would always talk.
Don't
about
forget
that.
PEMDAS. Maybe that they didn't have PEMDAS when I went to school. That's the new math, Carm. Thank you, Sean Daly. I don't know anything about PEMDAS.
Yeah.
All I know is that third grade, Carm, right here, times tables. Don't mess. I had my pencil out and I was the first one running to the teacher. There it is, buddy.
I can confirm, by the way, that Carm did count rocks in a cave. I think that was first reported by Carm.
Oh, woo!
Yeah, there we go. So, boy, I'm glad we got that off of me not being able to do math. I feel better about myself now.
I mean, I enjoyed every bit about that. Please put that on TikTok or somewhere, Sean Daly. Bert failing my math question and me not being sure that I had it right. But we retraced our steps and I got them.
I was so confident too.
Yeah, you said it with absolute 100%. This is no doubt I've got this one.
And I couldn't have been more wrong. It feels like I'm back in high school again, Carl.
It was a swing and a miss.
Yeah.
Strike 3. You're out. All right. Hey, thanks to Kyle Freeland. Thank you so much to the Special Olympics. Thank you to you for watching the Baseball Insiders. Hit that subscribe button. Anybody who puts in a review, hopefully we'll have some gear to give away here at some point. And hey, Bert, you hang in there, brother. We'll do this again next week.
That sounds good to me. Hopefully I have stuff behind me this time or this next time. So it doesn't look like I'm in jail.
Yeah. For those watching on YouTube, Robert Murray is not in jail. That is his home. And he needs an interior decorator or a friend, one of the two. Yeah, I got a couple of my friends coming out here who have much better taste than I do, and I'm hoping both of them guide me in the right direction. Put some Miller Park posters up there, buddy. Get a Kyle Freeland picture. Get a go old school Carm. Get some Michael Jordan on the wall. Let's go. This is not hard. No, it is very hard. Put a shitty blanket up beside you. Hey, that's our company, baby. This is like this blanket. Hey, actually, hang on a second, boys. Hang on. Oh, okay. Bird on the move here. I think I'm betting on a stuffed animal making an appearance. Maybe it'll be Poppy the puppy. I'm just gonna keep on talking here. Oh yes. Matching blankets. Bert, you don't have anything to hang it on, but it's there, buddy. You can I'm there with you in spirit, Carm. There we go. That's what we do. We can make this a green screen. Right. There we go. All right. I guess we're done. This was fun. Have a great. Thank you for listening. We love you. The Baseball Insiders with our first ever baseball player, Kyle Freeland, making history today, Bert. History. History's been made, Carm. Let's go. We'll see you next week.